There has to have been a day in your daily grind when you get to work and just wish that your office life was even as remotely as entertaining as the lives of those at Dunder Mifflin. Arguably one of the most iconic comedy television shows of the millennium, a lot of us might still catch ourselves binge-watching Jim's pranks or just trying to have a laugh at Dwight's quirkiness. But it's been a while since we've gotten to see the crew on The Office. Don't you wonder what they're up to now? Who went on tour with their famous band after the show ended? How many of these hilarious coworkers went on to become sensations on the big screen? Find out all the answers in our video. Steve Carell as Michael Scott. How many of you can relate to this? You literally have the worst boss in the world, but for some reason, they think they're the best. Maybe they mean well, but they're just lost in the sauce most of the time. Steve Carell is definitely the biggest success to come out of The Office. He embodied dad jokes and just general awkwardness as Michael Scott. Many don't know that The Office was actually on the hinge of not being continued after the first season, because it did pretty average. But it got renewed on the good expectations of Steve Carell's movie at the time, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which was a hilarious smash hit. Steve Carell was catapulted into stardom, and the ratings for The Office shot up. Since leaving the show well before its last season, Steve starred in some groundbreaking movies, one of them being The Big Short. And perhaps one of the most iconic roles for him was Gru on Despicable Me, a movie that gained worldwide success. Nowadays, he runs his own production company, Carousel Productions, with his beloved wife Nancy Carell. And there's some exciting news of his return to television with the new unnamed series on Apple TV. He'll be playing alongside other big stars Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. We think that Carell has lived up to one of Michael's most iconic statements. Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy. Both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. Rainn Wilson as Dwight. If you had to go to the barber and ask for the worst haircut possible, what do you think it would look like? I think I might know. In fact, that's how Rainn Wilson says he decided on the haircut for Dwight. Some say Dwight is to The Office what Sheldon Cooper is to The Big Bang Theory. We love to laugh at his love-hate relationship with Jim and the endless gags they'd pull on each other. But if there's one thing we love about Dwight, it's his confidence. There's no doubt that Rainn Wilson was a huge part of why the show became successful, and his own success even carried over after the show. Currently, Rainn Wilson can be seen on CBS's all-new Star Trek series, but he has been doing great things even in the years since he left The Office. Ever heard of the popular YouTube channel Soul Pancake? The digital entertainment company whose slogan is "The Science of Happiness"? Yeah, Dwight founded that. And they are behind one of the coolest viral videos out there, Kid President. What about having Dwight as president? I think I'd like that. He has also played in a comedy film, Permanent, and other films like The Smurfs movie. One thing is for sure, Rainn Wilson has moved on from the role of Dwight. In fact, in a recent interview on a podcast, he talks about his annoyance at still only being seen as Dwight. Some people even hand him beats at a restaurant. Seriously, people? Rainn went on an iconic rant saying, "I am not Dwight Schrute, okay?" Wilson began. "I played a character for 200 episodes, and it was an awesome character, and he was a beet farmer. That doesn't mean you should hand me beets or make beet jokes every time I go into Starbucks and ask if they have like a beet latte or something like that." He would rather have you focus on some of the other cool things he's doing these days, like his nonprofit company Le de Haiti, which uses education in the arts and literacy to help teen girls in Haiti to empower themselves and learn how to become stronger. Dwight is cool, but Rainn Wilson is so much cooler. Fact. John Krasinski as Jim Halpert. Can somebody please get Mr. Bill Buttlicker back on the phone? We just want to talk. Jim was responsible for so many of our laughs on The Office, and what made it even better is that he knew just the exact moment to look deeply into our souls and share that relatable moment with us. But John knows about way more than just selling paper. He's a multi-talented writer, director, and producer who's taken on some even bigger and more serious roles. His most recent project, where he can be seen kicking butts, not licking them, for the CIA, is on Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. But this isn't the first time he's thrust himself into danger. He also played on 13 Hours, and took us into a thrilling dramatization of the events of Benghazi. Though we'd say that one of the most groundbreaking moments for John Krasinski was when he had all our bones chilled and had us sitting on the edge of our seats as we shuddered during his critically acclaimed horror film, A Quiet Place. The film was written and directed by John, and one of the coolest things about it is that he starred in it alongside his gorgeous, incredibly talented wife, Emily Blunt. That's goals right there. Write a movie, cast yourself and your wife in it, and have it become a smash hit. That's definitely no practical joke. That's the real deal. Jenna Fischer as Pam Beasley. We can't talk about Jim without mentioning his beloved wife, can we? Even though the rest of the team at Dunder Mifflin seemed to doubt their love sometimes, these two shared something so unique that we can't help but swoon over it. Many fans are still not over Jim and Pam's wedding, but it's clear that Pam has moved on with her other ventures after The Office. Don't hate us for telling you this, but Jenna has a new on-screen husband, and they star together in an ABC show Splitting Up Together. Recently on Jimmy Kimmel, Fischer appeared to talk about this show, but she had an interesting way of getting herself out of a tight jam. She appeared on the show in a towel because her dress broke, showing an original way of solving problems just like on Splitting Up Together. BJ Novak as Ryan Howard. Another situation where somebody seemed to be randomly picked to play a role. Showrunners couldn't find anyone to play the Office temp, and so they looked at their team of writers and thought, hey you, over there, you're gonna play this role. So that's how BJ Novak got his role as Ryan Howard, and we are so thankful it happened. His on-screen chemistry with Mindy resulted in so many laughs and happy memories for fans, and even suspicion of an off-screen romance? Their relationship has been very difficult to figure out. After The Office, he produced The Newsroom, and also worked on The Mindy Project. He's also an author, with his successful book One More Thing. And it seems in an attempt to bring some clarity to the relationship between him and KALING, BJ and Mindy are working on a book together. Ooh, we're excited! Ed Helms as Andy Bernard. Okay, so he goes from being a total jerk to slightly likable, back to being a jerk again. It's pretty clear that Andy had some anger management issues, but that doesn't mean he wasn't one of the best characters on the show. The Office was a huge launchpad for Ed Helms, as he has landed a role on one of the biggest cult comedies of this generation, The Hangover, which catapulted him into more massive success. He also starred in the movie Vacation, and more recently, he can be seen in the movie Tag, alongside big stars like Jeremy Renner and Ron Hahn. Paul Lieberstein as Toby. Wow, talk about getting thrown into the deep end, huh? Do you know how Paul was cast as Toby? He was actually the showrunner of The Office, as well as a writer and executive producer, when he was convinced to play the role of Toby due to nobody being available to fill the role. He certainly wasn't bitten by the acting bug though, and as soon as the show ended, he went right back to being a full-time writer, even writing for Mindy Kaling's smash hit show, The Mindy Project, as well as Craig Robinson's Ghosted. Kate Flannery as Meredith Palmer. Sharp as a razor, this fiery fox certainly does not mince her words, and she has got the self-confidence to boot. What about that drinking problem, eh? Well, we're relieved to say that Kate Flannery's path is a little less spicy. Keeping the tradition strong with Oscar, she has also featured on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, as well as popular animation Steven Universe. Nowadays, Kate can be seen touring the US, as she has teamed up with another powerhouse actress and singer, Jane Lynch, who is best known for her role on Glee. Their debut duo show called Two Lost Souls was a success, and this holiday season, they are performing another show together called A Swingin' Little Christmas, and we have no doubt that it is hilarious. When Kate was asked about the possibility of a reboot of The Office, the dame said it may not happen because some people feel like The Office ended very perfectly and delightfully, like a piece of art. How would you feel about the possibility of an Office reboot? Let us know in the comments below. Creed Bratton as Creed Bratton. Maybe the creepiest character on the show, Creed had this dark side to him that made us unsure about whether he was going to hug or hurt you. Sometimes he said some really bizarre things, like when he said he knew a lot about decapitation, or when he showed us that he is the peak of iconic when he said, "I am not offended by homosexuality. In the 60s I made love to many, many women, often outdoors in the mud and rain. It's possible a man could have slipped in there, there'd be no way of knowing." The original Creed Bratton, of course, is nothing like that. He was actually a well-known rock star who was in the band The Grassroots and had a smash hit single, Let's Live for Today. These days, Creed can be found featuring in Adventure Time, and after the show ended, he went on a reunion tour with his band. Check out his latest tweet where he ran into some old friends. Mindy Caling as Kelly Kapoor. The iconic Kelly Kapoor was one of the biggest reasons we loved The Office. We learned a bit about diversity, and she showed how we each have our own different personalities despite the backgrounds that we come from. Mindy's career has been a resounding success since The Office. She wasn't a big household name before the show, and even up until she left the show, she wasn't an A-list celebrity. But with the release and extraordinary success of The Mindy Project, Mindy Kaling is now a good old Hollywood regular. Amidst the great success of her own hit show, she made appearances in Ocean's 8 and Disney's A Wrinkle in Time. She also lent her voice to the movie Wreck-It Ralph. One of the most iconic decisions that Mindy made was to voluntarily become a single mom. The actress hasn't really disclosed any information about the father of her young child, Catherine Swati Kaling, but she does share some sincere reflections about single motherhood and what the experience was like for her when she first started. She has loving friends and family surrounding her, and even though the moment was not the picture-perfect one that she had imagined, coming home to her husband and mother, it does not mean that it wasn't a beautiful moment or that she was alone in any way. She is embracing every part of motherhood and loving the journey. Which character do you miss the most from The Office? And do you feel like there should be a reboot of the show? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome videos.